are live at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, and now on the line, Ambassador John Bolton, the former U.S. National Security Advisor and Ambassador to the United Nations. Welcome to you, Ambassador.
Glad to be with you.
Welcome back, as always. I know you have been, for a while now, unhappy and worried about the states and the direction of this party, Donald Trump's Republican Party. Having watched what's been playing out here over the past couple of days at the RNC, Ambassador, how do you feel now?
Well, I'm unhappy with Donald Trump. I'm not terribly happy with his selection of J.D. Vance as a running mate. And I don't plan to vote for Trump. I don't plan to vote for Biden either. I think it's going to be an unhappy 4 years ahead for the United States. But I'll tell you, in light of the presidential debate some weeks back and the near miss on Donald Trump in Pennsylvania on Saturday, I see this election as being close to over. I don't see how the Democrats recover. They're in total disarray, arguing about whether their president is fit for duty or not. I think this is all moving in the Republican Party direction. The silver lining, from my perspective, will be that the failure of the Democrats at the top of their ticket should get us more Republicans in the Senate and the House, which I think could be an anchor to windward even of a Trump presidency.
Yeah, and you mentioned, of course, the arrival of J.D. Vance as the vice presidential running mate. Tell me a little bit more about what you make of that. He is very Trumpian in his outlook, and that includes on relations with the wider West.
Well, I don't believe Trump has a philosophy. I don't think he adheres to policy as we understand that term. I think he has neuron flashes. On Ukraine, they are almost all negative, and so are Vance's. Conveniently, they align with Trump's position. But I think Trump is giving the direction here, and Vance is trying to anticipate where Trump will come out. It's because of a misconception about America's role in the world and what American interests are. I certainly don't advocate aid for Ukraine out of the goodness of my heart or because Americans are nice people, although we are. There's a clear American national security interest at stake here in stopping this aggression by Russia against Ukraine and the risk it poses to European peace and security. I wish more Europeans understood that and spent more on their defense. They've set Trump up with an argument that's very appealing here. It is isolationist in its direction. And I'm worried that 4 sustained years of it could cause the United States a great deal of damage, may damage Europe too. My concern is the American security, which is enhanced by a functioning NATO, which may or may not exist after 4 years of Donald Trump.
I mean, you've discussed, including with me in the past, the idea, the ambition, as you see it, of Donald Trump to get away from NATO altogether. He can't do that without support from Congress, which some argue would be a break, would stop that from happening. I mean, how do you deal with that? How do you answer that?
Well, Congress passed a statute saying the president couldn't withdraw from NATO without congressional approval. That statute is almost certainly unconstitutional. It's never been definitively decided by the Supreme Court, but I think the president has unfettered authority to withdraw America from treaties. I've helped several presidents withdraw from several treaties, and Congress has whimpered, but they've never done anything about it. And that's what withdrawing from NATO is. It is withdrawing from the North Atlantic Treaty. It may be that Trump doesn't do it. Maybe he can be distracted for 4 years. But the damage that he could do to NATO during that 4 years would be considerable nonetheless. And I don't see Vance doing anything to slow him down. I think he would be an accelerant on Trump's antipathy to NATO, on his desire to get close to his good friends Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, and others.
Yeah, I know that there are many conservatives like you, Ambassador, who believe in supporting Ukraine. Mitch McConnell was booed in the hall here just the other day, but there are many conservatives who do believe in supporting Ukraine. Could that temper any idea on the president's part or that of a Vice President Vance to step back from that commitment to Ukraine?
Well, it's possible. And with Trump, anything is possible since he doesn't fundamentally believe anything. Obviously, all politicians seek to advance their political well-being. In Trump, you have the amazing phenomenon that everything is seen through the prism. How does this benefit Donald Trump? And we often found, certainly during my time in the White House, that the best argument to convince Trump to take one or another decision on a national security issue was to convince him it was in his political benefit to do it. Forget the strategic analysis. What's in his political benefit? That's possible, but it also requires believing over a sustained period of time that Trump acts like a normal president, and that is not the case.
Okay, looking at the politics just for a moment in the moment or two that we have left, you sounded very, very clear that you thought this election was as good as done now. Maybe not completely done, but as good as done. Whatever the Democrat Party decided to do, or Joe Biden decided to do, the opinion polls that we've been seeing and over again, at least this week, suggest that a change of candidate, if Biden were to go, would strengthen the Democrats' chances. Why do you not take those polls seriously at face value?
Well, I think they probably do strengthen the Democrats' chances because they bring new interest to the campaign. Imagine a candidate under age 50. I mean, it's shocking, but it could happen. And I think it would be a big boost for the Democrats. I think the trouble is they don't have the wherewithal to do it. You know, in the United Kingdom, you have this scenario where when a political leader runs into trouble, the men in gray suits come in and they say, Prime Minister, it's time for you to resign. There are no men in gray suits in the Democratic Party.
And well, we'll see how that plays out. But I note very, very clearly your own feelings on that. Ambassador John Bolton, as always, good to talk to you.
So then, before tomorrow comes, before your soul is demanded of you, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We are now in what Jesus called the acceptable year of our Lord. But next, after this epoch, is the day of judgment of our God. Now, while his mercy is still on offer, repent, that is, turn from your sin. Pray for forgiveness. The cross, Jesus Christ. The narrow road is the only way. So the narrow road is the only road that we can travel in order to be saved. We're disqualified from heaven, for God's heaven is perfect. No contaminants in heaven. No, of course not. That's all political. I'm preaching the kingdom of heaven, not the kingdom of the earth.